Welcome back. It's another day in the basement, another episode of my basement finishing project. Today's electrical work. It is actually not as difficult as I thought it was going to be. I had a guy come, I was doing a bunch of research, and then actually I had a guy come show me some of the things that I needed to do, so I'm actually now working on that and doing it. I've actually wired up my home gym already. That part's done. A couple of things I wanted to just go ahead and point out. That way, if you're doing this at your own house, you'll have an idea of kind of how I laid things out and set it up. I'll walk through it real quick, and then maybe I'll film myself pulling cables or something. It's kind of boring, but it's got to get done. Oh, by the way, if you don't have one of these lights, do you even actually do any of your own work at home? This thing is great. Comment down below if you guys actually use these headlights, you know, doing your own stuff at home as well. I find them invaluable. You keep your hands free, you got a light, they're great. Anyway, let's take a look around. Cables, lots of it. I have 14.2, 14.3, 12.2. So 14.2 is mostly what you're going to be using to wire your basement. 14.2 is used for regular outlets and switches and overhead lighting and that kind of thing. 14.3 is used if you actually have a three-way switch, which I have a number of those down here. 12.2 is going to be used for your GFCI stuff if you have a bathroom or a sink of some sort in your basement. Over here to my power panel, as you can see in here, the gym is all wired up. I have recessed lights in here now. Recessed lights are all wired in. There's 5 recessed cans in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Power panel. These are my home runs. I got 2 of them going right now. I think I will have 7 total, adding a new 7 new breakers and circuits. The gym is on its own circuit here, so I started my home run coming from the power panel right through, hit my first box, and then around, down to this box, down to this box, up to this box, which is going to be where there's going to be a flat screen TV, down to this box, which is actually in the other room, over to this box, this box, this box, one's in the hallway, up and over, down, hit that switch, then out, this box, and then this one, and there's another one right around the corner. Then from this switch I ran 14.2 up to my first can here, and then I daisy chained from there. I went from that can over to this can over to this can. Then I split, so this actually has 3 wires coming into it. So then this one is going to that can, and then that can is wired to that one. Not too bad. It's actually pretty straightforward. When you get done with it, you strip off the wire a certain amount, and then you actually pull them together. Let me show you in this outlet here. So you actually pull together your colors, white and white, black and black, and then copper. What I did was I actually cut one a little bit shorter than the other, and then I twisted them around and crimped them with this little copper crimp. That helps to keep everything together and not, you know, keep it from unraveling. So then you just fold it back up and tuck it back inside, so that way when the drywallers come and hit it with that tool that goes all the way around, it actually doesn't destroy your wires. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. See if I can do this one-handed. Just kind of fold it up in there like that, and then kind of push them back out of the way as best that you can anyway. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's it. You do that for all of them, then you obviously have to staple. My code requires here a staple within 8 inches of the box. This is closer than that, but as long as it's within 8 inches of the box. And then every 4.5 feet thereafter. So there's a bunch of staples in all this, keeping all the wires tidy. Alright, I'm back. I got a ladder. Let me show you how I had to wire this recessed can light. So one of the things I want to point out, this one's actually not a really good example. Dang it. Let me go look at another one. Yeah, let me go look at this one over here. Alright, so for example, any wires that you got coming in to your recessed lighting boxes require these little nuts. There's one on both wires. If you actually look at it, if I can get this thing to focus. So this actually you have to screw this in, and then these screws right here, then you pass the cable through it and it comes in, and then it clamps down on top. So that way there's no way to actually get, that wire is pretty well sealed in there now. So anyway, then you do these boxes just like the other ones, where color to color, black to black, white to white, and then you're just bare copper ground. Seal it all back up. And then that's it, you're done. So this room's already done. I am now currently working on my next run, which takes me in to this room. I had my home run pull from over there through this wall, pretty much following that same line all the way till I got to here. Then I had to start drilling again. Holes here into my first outlet, then in and out. Or this outlet is also going to provide power for another flat screen TV. Then power down there for all of the accessories like stereo and any of the other things that are going to be down in like a piece of furniture down there. Then over to the next one. Then the wire comes in, down, hits this outlet, and then I'm currently running this wire behind the door. I have had to move these doors probably 700 times down here. Such a pain in the butt. But anyway, the doors keep getting moved around. That's fine. Down to hit this electrical outlet, and then now I'm currently pulling the wire that's going to go through down into here, underneath into here, then all the way around and hit this one. Then I'm going to hit this switch. Then I'm going to split off. I got one more outlet that goes around this side down here, and then I will run another 14-2 from this switch up and over to my recessed light box. Then I'll daisy chain from there. I've got 4 in this room. So that's what I'm working on currently. One little tool I wanted to point out that's actually been really helpful is this thing that's hanging from the ceiling. I don't know if you can see it very well because of that light behind it, but this guy, you hang from the ceiling with a nail, and then you put your Romex on there, and then as you're pulling the Romex off, it just starts to unwind itself, and you can pull the cable instead of having to mess around with it on the floor. So much better, so much easier to just pull the cable off of that reel instead of having to like unwind it on your, manually on the floor. So anyway, let me set the camera down and I'll finish wiring up this room. wiring in your switch over here, so you don't forget what's going on. So you remember which ones are going to be for power and then which one is going to be your switched wire. Take a Sharpie and just write on here, switch. Write it up a little bit high. That way when you actually strip this back, you can still see it. Alright, now I got all the holes drilled, I got all the wires pulled all the way through, I got all the wires run to all the electrical boxes, all of the recessed lights, all of the switches, everything's good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back around and I'm actually going to start stripping the wire and then wire nutting them together and then folding them up and tucking them out of the way. I'll show maybe one or two of those and then you'll get the idea, and then at the end I'll just go back and show you what it all looks like. So this is what it looks like now. Wires are hanging out of the boxes, right? On all the boxes all the way around. Got the wires out of the switch. Wires are in the recessed lights and in all these outlet boxes all the way around. Alright, so let me wire one of them up and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Alright, so now I'm going to strip out these wires and get this outlet set up so that it'll be ready to go for when the inspector comes. Strip the wire off. Get rid of this paper. Trim off a little bit of this extra wire. What I do is I leave one of the ground wires long and then I cut the others pretty much to the same length just to cut them shorter so that there's not too much left over. Leave those there. Right, now what I do is I grab one of these copper crimps. You can see that, and then I will put my two grounds together like this, and then I just give them a nice twist around. and then clamp them down for just a second, and then give it a couple more twists like this. Okay. Then take this crimp barrel, put it down over top of the two wires, and then pinch it down. It'll look like that when you're all done. So that way, all you have to do is you can attach this one lead around to the outlet when it comes up. Then strip off the ends here. These are 14s, so we'll put it on the 14 hole. Strip that off. Strip that off. If you don't have one of these tools, get one, because they are great. It makes things so easy. Alright, so then at this point, get yourself a couple of these and then twist away. You're not putting these on really tight, you're just basically putting these on in order to have to just basically put them up out of the way. This also helps too, that if you wanted to give yourself a convenience outlet when you're working around down in the basement, you can actually have the circuit go all the way through to where you're going to be using it. So then now that you got the caps on, you just fold all this up and then fold it down into your outlet box, and then push it up out of the way like that. That way when the drywallers come in, they put the sheet of drywall up, and then they put their little tool in here, and then they zip around it like that, and then that way your wires are out of the way. Nothing gets cut. Now we're all done. This room's all wired up. Well, part of the room's wired up. Let me take you around and show you what I did. Alright, so this is the first outlet coming in over here. This is the one that I filmed me actually doing. I went around and stapled the wires in to the wall everywhere, so it all looks nice and tidy now. All the staples where they belong. Overall, not too bad. This is actually something, or doing electrical work was something that I thought I'd be kind of worried about doing. After doing some research and then having an electrician actually that's here in my neighborhood show me what to do, it's actually really simple. I've got the breakers. I went and bought the 15 amp breakers for the 14.2, and then I have two 20 amp breakers for the GFCI for those circuits. So I'll get those wired up once we've gotten through inspection. Mainly right now what I'm doing is I'm wiring all these outlets here for inspection, so that the inspector can come out and take a look. And then we will have our close-in inspection where they will actually come back through and approve us to put the drywall up. So I would say probably in the next couple of weeks this basement is going to be looking very different. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful for you. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you the next time.